player of the season as the big last award. Glenn, I know we've touched on probably a lot of these before, but who would yours be for player of the season?
I think I said earlier about this with a story of 2 hours of the season. I mean, you had at the beginning. I'm going to give it to Madison, but he finished it so strongly. Was a massive reason as to why we finished 8th and not 14th, or maybe even worse. My only worry is that if he thinks that his only chance with England is if he is at a so-called big club, that might be an issue. But of course, I hope he stays and that he's going to be a massive for us next season. But I think for the way that he's improved this year and the way that he's got more into the fact of wanting to get the ball, rather than just maybe waiting for the ball. He's been involved a lot more, and he's seen the fact of his areas that he needs to improve on, and he's gone out there and done it. And he is a confidence player, and I'm just hoping now with the end of the season that we've had that he can then kick on with that, because I think he's going to be big for us now. I don't think he's going anywhere. Close season. Like I say, there's only really that niggling little thing to do with the fact of the so-called big club than maybe getting to England. But I don't think it'll matter. I don't think Southgate likes him, and full stop, for whatever reason. So hopefully he's going to be one of our talismans for next year. Certainly with Yuri being gone, which everybody assumes is going to happen. So I think he's going to be our main guy.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there. And again, there's a lot of, there's a few pension, but again, Maddison is one I've got down. Alex, over to you. Is there any player of the season that you've got down as well, apart from James Maddison?
Ultimately, I'm going to give it to James Maddison. Glenn said it all, but the two shout-outs I don't want to give to KDH, because everything we've discussed about KDH, I think that warrants, at least, a debate in the sense of that he definitely has, the right to hold best player of the season in my eyes. Another player I'm going to say is Jamie Vardy. And I think a lot of people would be like, why Jamie Vardy? He got 15 goals in 25 games this season in the Premier League, and he scored 17 and 33, amongst all competition. He's not a young guy, I think he's 36 next year. And if he's still doing that, imagine a fit Jamie Vardy all season. Like, let's be serious here. Like, he scored 15 and 25, and he was fully fit this season. 25, 30 goals, we don't know.
Like, he just needs 18 to take over Mike Lowen's record for them being 10th place for all-time Premier League goal scorers. And that's the one that we want. Yeah,
for sure. Like, that's definitely it. But like I think, there's been talk amongst, the supporters, I think, throughout the season, with Vardy being injured and people saying, well, he's not the same player that he used to be. He's getting older. Put up pretty good numbers. It's hard to say that he's still not, that he's still producing. I don't think there's going to be a drop off. I think there's going to be more of the sense of like, Vardy won't be playing as much as expected. I think he's going to come on more as a sub. He'll start games, but I don't think you're going to see the outcome. But at the end of the day, he could still be one of those players. And I think, he blew my expectation out of the water, because I wasn't even aware that he scored 15 goals this season until I started actually researching it and like looking at it the last game of the season, be like, oh, he's got 15 and 25. That's insane. So I think that's a big shout that I'd like to give is Vardy.
In 15 and 25, again, as you were saying, the goals per 90, Jamie Vardy's on 0.75, the top joint with Mohamed Salah, considering the season that Salah's had. And the credit that Salah's got, again, he could literally be one for underrated player of the season, because there's not a lot of people talk about Jamie Vardy, considering his age, considering the amount of minutes, considering the injuries. Again, phenomenal.
And you also have to look at the age difference between Salah and Vardy. Like, that's
exactly. Dan, have you got any other mentions for player of the season?
Ultimately, I would agree with everybody that spoke so far on it, but I would maybe just give a shout out to Kasper Schmeichel too, who we haven't mentioned yet today, but he's still a great shot stopper, and he's kept us in a lot of games that we shouldn't have been in. And a couple ricks in him too, kind of like a Marty this season. Everybody we know his shortcomings, doesn't come off his line enough, doesn't distribute as well as we would like, but just keeping the ball out of the net, that alone has kept us in games this year several times. We've chatted back and forth in the private chat about how we'd be 3-1 down here and there throughout the year. But yeah, ultimately it's got to be Madison. I mean, there's no other player like him in the team. Gets the ball in the half turn. He's the one that drives us forward. And I think he's the guy that you build the team around going forward. It has to be him next year. You know, you keep him and Didi, Vardy, and Fofana. That's the spine. Yeah. Others want to move on. Maybe, I mean, there's obviously not a lot that can be done about some of these people that want to move on, but Madison, I think, is crucial. And yeah, my player this season by a mile.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And in terms of Madison as well, there's a couple of players I think if they stayed fit, they could have pushed him close. KDH being one of them, and also Fofana. I think them two, if they're fit, we're looking at this going, we're scratching our heads going, God, this is really hard to pick from, considering the performance they've gave coming back. Well, KDH could be in his first season and him not playing that many games at the beginning of the season, and Fofana for the same reason, for the injury and his time getting back into the game, and thinking his first game was against Rennes and he scored, and you just noticed the level as well. So I have to give them to a shout out, but that is it as well. So I think we'd all agree for Madison player of the season as well. Again, if you have any other awards that you want to talk about, leave them in the comment section down below. Like Dan, Alex, Glenn for coming on. Really appreciate it. We've managed to get around to it eventually. Again, it's only a week or so since the season's finished. We've managed to get some time off. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. Thank you to everybody that's made it so far in this video as well. We really appreciate it. If you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, make sure to follow these people, down in the description. We'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.